Hey everyone, welcome to CresTV, your regular roundup of all things UC, AV, and we're going into the meeting rooms today. We've done some different ones. The last one I recorded, I don't know when you're going to watch that, is all about esports, but now we're back into normal ground for me in the meeting room. And we thought one guest was not good enough, so we brought out two. So let me bring them out for you now. I've got with me my esteemed guests here, Charles Montoya from Jupiter, who make amazing screens, which we'll talk about in a second, and Chris from Salamander Design, who make the most beautiful furniture. Now, you can cheap out and put some rubbishy old chipboard MDF furniture in your meeting rooms, but if you want some real high-end stuff, Chris and Salamander is going to talk about that. But first of all, let's start with Charles. Charles, Jupiter, it's a lovely planet in our solar system, but Jupiter also make the most beautiful 21:9 displays. Tell everyone who's been sleeping in a darkened room, what is Jupiter all about and what do you do?
Yeah, first, Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, and for that one TikTok guy that didn't know, it does not have any rings around it, so we can get that to rest.
Saturn. It's Saturn, isn't it?
Saturn has the rings around it.
There you go.
Yeah, okay, we'll get over that. But anyways, so Jupiter, we've been in business for over 40 years. We actually started in the processor world for video processors. And a few years back, right, our CEO, Sydney, he was really interested in the 21:9. He thought it was a perfect format for video. He thought it was a pretty perfect format for content. And Jupiter was one of the first to launch really commercial design 21:9 format, launching our 105s, launching our 81 inches. We now have our Panda 34. We're going to be announcing our 94 and some other new products at
ISE. Is that roadmap? Is that NDA? Are we allowed to talk about this?
I don't work for the CIA. If I worked for the CIA, we'd be done right now. So yeah, I'm just that guy.
Very cool.
Really excited about it.
So we've got some cool tech at Crestron. You've got some amazing displays, but our tech and your displays are nothing without some beautiful furniture to hide them away in and hide the tech away, but also to present these beautiful displays. Chris, Salamander Designs, again, for the people who've been sleeping in a darkened room, don't know who Salamander are. What's it all about and what's your USP?
Sure. So Salamander has been around for 30 years making purposely built furniture for technology, right? It's always been about having beautiful furniture that could encompass all of your technology as well. Started out in the living room. Over the last 9 years, we've grown to be bigger in the boardroom. And we have innovative products that can help you deploy meeting spaces faster, right? So for example, the 105 from Jupiter, beautiful display. Yeah, I think it's about 135 pounds or so.
For the people in Europe, I don't know how many kilograms that is, but
so you can make that adjustment there. But it also has a pretty big visa pattern. It's like 1500 by 600, I believe. And so in order to mount that into your commercial space, there's backing that needs to be installed, right? There's also conduit and there's power and data, right? All those things cost a lot of money and also make the install process slower. And instead, you can put it on a Salamander cabinet, which we've been mounting displays to our cabinets since the late 90s, right? So we were actually one of the first, or actually the first, with a mount that was integrated into the cabinet. And then from there, beautiful tables, arc tables for teams rooms, other types of tables, huddle spaces, mobile carts. Yeah, like if you want to roll around that 105, our mobile cart can actually roll around the 105, height adjustable as well. So it's all about beautiful ease of use and upping that level of deployment speed, serviceability, and adaptability.
I love that because again, I obviously I'm based in the UK. You guys are in North America. We're going to talk about TAA and a whole bunch of stuff in America. But one of the things I have heard throughout my life when talking to customers about deploying systems is there's this whole union thing, and to get anyone to put something in a wall or to hang something on a wall, it's a nightmare. Whereas the cool thing about Salamander, as far as I'm aware, it's completely freestanding. There's no you don't need to nail things into the wall, and if you do, it's just to sort of stabilize it. There's no physical in there. So that's, again, from a speed of deployment, as you say, and being able to deploy the stuff, super cool. And again, I would obviously steer away. 105 on a wheel cabinet, that's a beast. That is something. Crikey.
Hey, you can even do direct LED too, so yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Now, the reason we got both of you on is not just because obviously we wanted to get three people on, but there is a bundle that we've been putting together with one of our partners in North America, where they can buy a single SKU that includes the Teams room system, the 105 Jupiter, the Crestron Flex, and then not only the Salamander. Would you call it a credenza, or what do you call the main unit? We had a conversation with a colleague of mine, and he didn't know what credenza
I mean, it could be a
was.
credenza, it could be a cabinet.
Right.
So you're either one.
And then you've got the table, which then is kind of that signature room archetype that Microsoft position. It's that arc table. We can go just about see. I've kind of cropped you off, but you can just about kind of see it behind you. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, right there.
And the thing about furniture is it's very, very personal. Your design. You know, I'm not a big fan of like dark woods. Or kind of like, again, my European, probably like lighter woods and things like that. You can customize these and build these up however you want, can't you? Custom and go, I want it in pink or green or orange, and you guys will be able to do that.
Absolutely. You know, we have our standard finishes. And one of the nice things is we price it so that way each of our standard finishes, or there's a wide gambit, are all the same price. And then from there, we can work with your designer, architect, facilities people, and really get whatever material is needed. So for example, we just deployed some teak cabinets to a municipality in New Jersey. So whatever the design element is, we can do. So it's all about, what the AV standard is, making sure we nail that. And then we nail the aesthetics as well.
Nice. And let's talk a bit about these screens, because I mean, you can buy tellies, as I would call them now, display. You know, I was talking to someone else about plasmas the other day, and we're kind of nostalgic about plasmas. But 16:9 is kind of the standard. And again, we won't mention the name of it. Everyone knows the vendors of screens out there. But Jupiter is different in the fact that you've kind of really put your hat on this 21:9 format, this kind of IMAX super widescreen format. Microsoft are obviously getting really on the boat with that with Front Row. Again, Charles, talk us through the design, the reasoning, and some of the benefits of 21:9. Again, what Jupiter bring that's special to the party.
Here's what I'll say. Let me start with the signature room for a moment, right? Because I'm an old guy in this industry. I actually remember telepresence back in the day, right? When you had 3 different monitors and the multiple cameras. Microsoft.
Where are they now? How are they doing now?
Yeah, how's that going right now? Right? Those are everywhere. But I think Microsoft Teams Front Row saw that vision, redefined it, re-imaged it, and simplified it. And that's Microsoft Teams Front Row, right? Yeah. And that 21:9 format, it fits perfectly because you have all the people on the bottom of the screen, eye level, right? When you sit in those chairs, they are eye level to you. And that's exactly what you're looking for. And then they saw that they were able to incorporate the hybrid model. I'm at home. I'm working from home a lot. I like my chat features. I like to see who's on the call. I like to see people that raise hands. And in that wide 21:9 format, I can have my chat features. I can have my hand raise. And the content comes in full native screen, right? So it really gives you that full immersive experience that we in the industry have been looking for a long time, right? Totally. So it really brings it to market. Now, 21:9 overall, let's be honest. My son asked for 21:9 4 years ago as a gamer. You mentioned esports. They live in that, right? They live in that. And it went from the esports guys to the gamers to the executive conference room because they didn't want to have multiple monitors and that mess. And now it's just progressing naturally to the conference room and the boardrooms. Yep. Once again, old guy, 4x3, 16:9. Yeah. 21:9 is just going to start making that move into it. It's just going to take time. And we're at the very early stages. Yeah. But if you just take a look at over the last 18 months and all the companies now that are starting to adopt 16:9 in their platform, Crestron, right? Zoom, Microsoft, it's just continuing to grow. And I really, really am excited about the adoption of it. I think Sydney, who's our CEO, who really this is going to be the future. He's all in, right? Yeah. We are all in on 21:9.
Yeah, you don't do 16:9. That Jupiter is 21:9 only. That's what it is. Like Olympic.
Oh yeah, you are not going to find 16:9 in our office. It's kind of a no-no, right? Very cool. So yeah, that's our goal, and we really just see it being the future.
I think it's interesting because I mean, as screens got lower cut again, I was joking about plasma earlier. I remember a 40-inch Curo Pioneer plasma was like gazillion pounds or dollars back in the day, and obviously it's got a lot cheaper now. So people are putting bigger screens in. But the challenge of 16:9 is you go bigger, it's going closer and closer and closer to the ceiling, and then you go, we're going to put the camera on top, looking down. Again, us people that are starting to be a bit more follically challenged. You've got this kind of look of God down. So again, the fact of going to more width rather than height and stretching that screen out makes a lot more sense, because you're getting a lot more pixels, but you don't, up against the ceiling, and people kind of reining their necks up to look at the screen, which again isn't attractive. Again, so again, I love that, and again, I love this concept of 21 by 9, rather than, again, as you say, that kind of dual screen 32 by 9. Again, there could be some value in that, but it's a lot more aesthetically pleasing to have a single, display at the front of the room, have everything on there, and looking good. So yeah, love that.
Just one more part to that, just real quickly. One thing that I like to say is that I think the other big issue that we have in this industry today that we're really not discussing on this call too much is you're starting to see rooms that are going, hey, it's difficult at times to do dual monitor setups, right? Yeah. People walking into a room, doing a conference setup. Dual monitors can be a little bit complicated. If you can just have a single monitor to utilize and have all that real estate for you, it definitely makes life simpler and easier. And it's much more natural for the eyes, right? On how I look, how I'm viewing it. So yeah, we're really excited about what the future holds for 21 by 9 and beyond. We're really excited about it.
Well, again, you've just teased a bunch of NDA roadmap. There's a 94 coming, so we're all excited about it.
I don't know if I said that. It might have came out. Everybody, if you're on the call, just don't share it with anyone.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. It's fine. No one watches this. It's fine. It'll be fine. Chris, now you guys are going to have to help me out, because obviously we were joking earlier about my King's English over here in the UK, but there's a whole bunch of I talked about union stuff, deploying this stuff, but there's some whole other North American challenges around technology. There's two that I know of. One is called TAA. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's like Built in America and certifications. So I'd love you guys to talk about TAA, because again, this is probably more useful for our North American viewers. But also, I think, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but on the furniture, isn't there some accessibility rules and laws as well in North America? Again, talk us through how Salamander fits into those. And again, Charles, you can talk about TAA on the screen. So again, for people watching, there are these kind of, again, rules and certificates and stuff for accessibility and equal accessibility around furniture and stuff. Again, I'm assuming you're all over that from Salamander.
Sure. No, absolutely. So TAA is basically, if you are a government agency, especially certain government agencies, certainly all the 3-letter ones over here in the US, TAA compliance means that the company that you're buying from is sourcing all of their raw materials, even from partner countries that are allied with the US, basically, right? So we are TAA compliant. We manufacture everything in Bloomfield, Connecticut. It's actually also, and this has nothing to do with TAA, but we're also a solar powered company as well, which is important also for Europe, with the tight controls over environmental standards, right? And then, as you mentioned, with like not only unions, and it's really not just the unions, but it's very expensive to do construction inside high rises. Right. So when you talk about large cities, whether it be New York, Chicago, but even, London, Tokyo, right? If you're going to do construction while people are working, you are going to want to do that after hours. That's going to be more expensive. Yeah. You have to schedule the lift, as you would say, right? Or the elevator, right? So all these things add expenses. So when you want to do construction on a wall in these large cities in a high rise, you could be talking $10,000 or more per wall. Wow. Now that goes down as you get to more rural areas, obviously, but it's still thousands of dollars, right? It's the wall construction, it's the drywall guy, it's the electrician, it's all those things. And then AV shows up and the conduit's not big enough, right? Or the electrical outlet isn't turned on. So the beautiful thing about Salamander is all you need is power and data at the 18-inch standard locations. Right. And then you were talking about the ADA, or the Americans Disability Act.
That's it, yeah, ADA, yeah.
Yeah, yes. So and many countries have some version of this. It's not so much in Europe, but for a blind person, if they're walking down a hallway, let's say, or they're walking into a meeting room, if something is protruding from the wall, right, and there's nothing below that for their cane to hit, they're not going to know that there's something protruding from the wall, and they could hit that. Got it. So in the US, it's 4 inches or more that is protruding from the wall. There needs to be something below. So our cabinets, whether it be a 12-inch deep cabinet, which just needs just drywall anchors or deeper cabinets, it solves for these issues, because not only does it provide something below, but we can go as wide as is needed for the deployment. Right. And just to give you a little, heads up on something that you're going to see from us at InfoComm that we are actually shipping now.
More roadmap. We're loving this. It's all coming out today.
There you go. A little roadmap item. So we have 12-inch deep cabinets, but we are already shipping for our large end users 6-inch deep cabinets.
Oh, okay.
Right. So
super thin.
And that can also, the same weight capacity, can do the 105, not a problem. Every bay has 2 RUs.
Right.
Inside a 6-inch deep cabinet, our 5-inch or 12-inch deep is 5 RUs.
Right.
So we're really excited about this product because it solves all the same problems, and it's even a smaller footprint. And in a lot of these rooms, every square inch matter.
Love it. Now, get back to that TAA thing, Charles. We had, I think it was Justin. Is it Justin from GB? We had him on previously before. And it was fascinating. He was talking about how you guys actually manufacture these panels. Because, again, in the world of large displays, there's not that many people who make the glass, or, it's not glass anymore, but the plastic, the LCDs. And they'll buy somebody's panel, they'll put their electronics with it and put it. Justin was telling, again, from a TAA point of view and a manufacturing point of view, again, you get the 21 bar. It's not some off-cut that you kind of get off the floor of somewhere that some of these other vendors do. Again, it's a purpose-made panel that you guys again take, and you've got all that processing expertise from your history and heritage that you then blend all this together to create this single display for customers.
Yeah, without a doubt, right. And I go back to our CEO, Sydney, right. He really saw Jupiter as being one of the few companies when he came aboard, and he was a part of Foxconn for a lot of years, right. So he has all those relationships out there in the manufacturing world. So yes, every product that you see from Jupiter, if you would open it up, you're going to see it's not any off-the-shelf type product. Everything is made, designed, manufactured specifically for Jupiter. So we do have TAA compliant 105s. We do have, obviously, working with Salamander, ADA compliant monitors as well, right? So our 21:9 displays can fit into those categories with Salamander in space. So yeah, it's something that very few in this industry, especially in the 21:9, can really say they're TA compliant. And it's not just great for US companies, but I've also learned that around the world, a lot of government agencies in other countries really look to TA compliancy as well.
Yeah, if it's good enough for them, then it's good enough for us.
Exactly, right. Anytime you're looking at any Department of Defense that works for the US, they are all over TA compliancy. They're like, hey, if it's good enough for the US Department of Defense, it's perfect for us. So it definitely makes things a little easier for them as well.
Very cool. Now, we could go on all afternoon. This is meant to be a teaser to get people to ISC and InfoComm. So let's try and wrap this up. So, Charles, are you going to be in Barcelona? I know that Jupiter obviously will be. Are you coming over?
Jupiter will be. I will not be going to Barcelona this year, unfortunately. No. They said, look, you can only put Justin and me, one of us, in the booth at one time. If you put us both, the place will just implode.
I'll come and tap Justin. But we are in the recording earlier. Do you know your booth number, Charles?
Yes. 3N700 is our booth. We'll be having all of our 105s. We'll also be showing some very new product, which might have slipped out earlier today. We'll see what happens. But we're really interested about working. I think we're actually going to have Salamander in our booth as well. So we're really excited about that too.
Very cool. And again, so Chris, you're all over. So Salamander's all over IOC on partner stands. So people can go and find it at the Jupiter stand and sure others. And then InfoComm is the big one for you, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah. So Scott Sorellis, who's my partner in crime, is our SVP. He's going to be at ISC.
Awesome.
You're talking to our partners, meeting with clients, and we have product in Jupiter's booth. They're a great part of ours. And at InfoComm, that's where we're going to have a great booth, and we're going to officially launch that 6-inch deep cabinet, and we're going to be showing Teams rooms and our other products there as well. So
it's Vegas again, isn't it? We're back in Vegas in 2024, I think. We're at Orlando last year. So yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, very cool. Now let's wrap this up. So Charles, where can people find out more information about Jupiter?
Yeah, take a look at Jupiter.com. Take a look at our website. Follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can get more information about us.
He's done this before. Chris, where can people find out more about Salamander Designs?
So it's salamandercommercial.com. You can always email us at custom@salamanderdesigns.com.
Okay.
And we're also on LinkedIn and basically everywhere that you have social media, you can find Salamander, and please follow us.
Are you on TikTok yet?
On TikTok, we actually just started on TikTok. We're doing some Residential things first, but we are also on TikTok, so follow us there as well.
I love it. We all feel too old to go onto TikTok, I'm sure. But guys, Charles, Chris, thank you for joining us for CresTV. I'll see you either in InfoComm or on our travels somewhere. But thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Cool. Cheers, guys. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of CresTV. 21:9 displays, awesome. If you haven't seen one, you know, it is that full IMAX experience in your meeting room. There's nothing like it. And again, using Microsoft Front Row, connected up to a Crestron Flex, it looks stunning. And then if you want to take it up to 11, because no one wants it at 10, if you want to take it up to 11, match that with some beautiful furniture from Salamander. Go and challenge them. You want it in gold or pink or green or whatever. Go and give them a challenge. Again, we gave you that address, custom at Salamander Commercial, I think it was. Go and tell them you want it in silver, gold, pink, and see what they can do. But again, Crestron, Salamander, and Jupiter coming together to create this single SKU bundle that gives you your kind of boardroom in a box, your signature room in a box, simple to deploy, easy to deploy with all that great TAA goodness, ADA goodness, and all those other acronyms I know nothing about. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one, and make sure you find us and follow us on social and tell your friends to share this out and follow us again. Catch you on the next one.